All right, so for the next example, we've got this shot, and what we want to do is we want to turn this low-key dramatic shot into something much more brighter and high-key. So this is the prompt I'm going to be using just to save time, or I've already written it here. Make the lighting more even and diffuse so it looks like it's coming out of a large softbox. Also make the background white. Let's copy this, okay? And I'm just again going to go here. I've actually already done this here, okay? So all I need to do now is hit generate. I've already made the selection before. And once we do get the result, you're going to notice one very big issue, which is not just a problem with Photoshop. It's just the issue with Nano Banana itself, which is of resolution. Remember, what have we seen up till now with the other platforms? When we do see the resolution, it's around like something like 1000 by 1000, basically 1K resolution. That's what we discussed before, okay? Now, from an editing point of view, can you see Nano Banana has done a fantastic job. No other software out there could edit the entire photograph without making any changes. The other software like ChatGPT, Flux Context, and pretty much any other contextual editor out there at this point would have changed the face. But just see Nano Banana's result. Original. Isn't this absolutely amazing? I mean, just imagine you've taken a low-key shot and you've just turned it into. But that's just Nano Banana, right? That's right now nothing to do with Photoshop. You can do this in any platform. But I'm just saying that it's so amazingly consistent, right? It doesn't change the face at all. However, it does change the resolution. And right now, if I was to zoom in, okay, this is something you have to be careful of, okay? So just notice this. This is the top layer. That means this is the layer that Nano Banana has worked upon after the edit. But if I hide this and you see the original, keep your eye on the eye. So just see. This is what we started off with. This is a really sharp image, probably out of a DSLR. It's not my image, but you know, it's packed with pixels, crazy resolution, and suddenly after the edit with Nano Banana, we get a 1K resolution, which just takes away that. Now, if you were to use this on social media, not a problem, because if you look at from farther out, it is fine, right? I mean, you just want to upload it on Facebook, Instagram, something like that. Any of these platforms is perfectly fine. But if you want to take a large print out of it, this edit won't cut it, right? So that is one problem. There's right now no solution to this apart from exporting this image and then upscaling it somewhere else. There are a lot of AI tools, even free ones. If you go to Google, just type in free upscaling or increasing of resolution using AI. It's called an upscaler, and you'll be able to do that very, very easily. However, within Photoshop or within Nano Banana, right now it's not possible. But you can do something different, okay? So maybe not work on the entire image, but remember, Photoshop does have these selection tools, okay? You can work on a smaller area. So let me give you an example, okay? One of the selection tools, for example, inside Photoshop is this selection brush tool, where what we can do is, okay, right now don't worry about what I'm doing here. I'm just showing you an example. I can select a small area like this. Now, it's only gonna work on this area. So I can say makeup on the eye. And if I should have said around the eye, because nobody puts makeup on the eye, but I think it's going to understand that. But the point is now it's only going to work in this overlaid area that you're seeing, this pink area that we've drawn with the selection. And what's going to happen is, since this is a small area, the resolution is going to remain the same, okay? The resolution is going to remain the same. It's just that because it's a small area, the pixels are tightly packed. Even those 1000 by 1000 pixels are very tightly packed. So the resolution you really don't see the negative effects of that. Just see, because they're not getting stretched across the entire image. So just see. Now if I show you the before and after. Before, after. Can you see? This time it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look too pixelated or blurry. So that is one thing that you still can do in Photoshop, that you can take a portrait or any other thing and work on these small localized areas, okay? That will be the way out of the resolution problem currently. And that's a huge advantage in Photoshop, because if you are to, there's no way you can do this in any other platform. Because one of the other things in the other platforms, what you can do is, remember we saw the Canva tool. There you can go and you can say that, you know, you can just actually draw annotations on the image, okay? Just like you can do in Photoshop also. For example, right now, don't worry, I'm just showing you an example that if I was to only impact the eye, okay, what I can do in the other platforms is draw an arrow like this and then take like a text tool and say, put blue makeup on the eye. I can actually write the wordings on the image, and in the prompt, I can actually say, edit the image according to the annotation or the prompt written or drawn on the image. Though other platforms like Google Gemini and all can do this, okay? Here's the problem. You will still get a similar result that we got with the selection here. But in those other platforms, even though you're doing this through the annotations, remember, the entire image is being generated again. So you're going to get a very similar result with this blue eye, okay? But since the entire image is being generated again, you're going to still have the resolution problem. This, what we just did, okay? Let me just get rid of these annotations. What we just did, it's only possible in Photoshop because we actually only worked on this area. The Nano Banana generation did not regenerate the entire image. It only regenerated this part. This is not possible because selection tools are not available in any other editing platform apart from Photoshop, at least the ones that have Nano Banana. Okay, so it's not like you can just draw an annotation and then type in the prompt that edit the image according to the annotation. Yes, the editing will be local and you will be able to get the result, but not the resolution problem will not be solved. So just remember that, okay? Yeah, but that's about it. You can clearly see Photoshop definitely is on a completely different league. But here's the thing, and this is what is going to be the problem for most people. Photoshop, especially nowadays, is not very cheap, okay? Photoshop is basically going to cost you nowadays in 2025 and beyond, okay, late 2025 and beyond, because Adobe made some changes in June 2025. Now it's going to cost you around $20 to $40 a month. And I can't give you one figure. That's because it just depends on too many things. Adobe has one of the most complex pricing structures for Photoshop out there. It'll depend on which country you're from. It'll depend on what plan you're going in for. It'll depend on whether you're paying upfront annually or you're paying month to month. It'll also now depend on how much is your AI usage, because each usage is going to cost you somewhere. Okay, but I've done a lot of research about this, tried all sorts of possible calculations. The rough figure you should have in mind is $20 to $40 a month. If you're ready to pay that, you can use Nano Banana inside Photoshop. Very powerful, but is it worth to you? I mean, you'll have to answer that for yourself, given by the budget that you have. Otherwise, you've already seen there are other platforms which can do something similar, maybe not with this much ease. But if there's one word that I can sum up Nano Banana inside Photoshop with, is control. The control that you get on the output, thanks to all these amazing tools, which you have not even seen 1% of in this video, is just incredible. You can do anything with what you get out of Nano Banana and take it to the next level inside Photoshop, but it's going to come at a price. I will see you in the next video.